Saturday the 14th, Chaturdasha Dinangaha. This is the first session, Pratamo Bhagaha, Vyakaranam, Mangalacharanam, Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate, Ramam Ramesham Bhaje, Ramena Bhiyata Nisharcharachamu, Ramaya Tasmai Namaha, Rama Nasti Parayanam, Parataram, Ramasya Dasosmyaham, Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame, Bhora Mama Muddhara, Rama Rameti Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tattalyam, Rama Nama Varandane, Shri Rama Nama Varanana, On Nama Iti. Hata Shri Mahashra Sutrani, Ai Un, Rulruk, E Ong, Ai Ouch, Hayavarat, Lan, Nyamanga, Na Nam, Jabanj, Dhadadash, Jabagadash, Kapha cha cha tha cha cha tav, Kapai sha sha sar hal iti Mahashra Sutrani. Okay, so last class you're looking at the Lat Lakaraha for the Tingantam Prakaranam. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has done a lot of work for this class. Kumud and yes, thank you. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. He's from Sweden. Okay, good night to all of you. Thank you. Somebody from Sweden is here. Thank you very much. Last time we're looking at the Lat Lakaraha. So again, Kumud has done a lot of work on the document. Kumud Singhal has done a lot of work. So has Radha Madan. And also we have a new document, Siddhanta Kaumudi, which we are typing in the Tingantam Prakaranam, the Siddhanta Kaumudi, which is going to be typed in, because so far we did not have the entire Siddhanta Kaumudi as a document available to us. Siddhanta Kaumudi is our main document, is our main grantaha. Siddhanta Kaumudi is the complete grammar of the language. So any grammar book that you hold in your hand is nothing but some version of Siddhanta Kaumudi. It's not a very big book. It's a fantastic work of grammar, which has literally revolutionized the science of grammar, Siddhanta Kaumudi. So thank you for Yulia for typing Siddhanta Kaumudi text, which you have here, which is, we are going to use it today, which is, you're showing it right now. We have to edit this one and make it more available. We just started this project about Siddhanta Kaumudi, which we did not have. And thank you for Kumud for the work on the other documents, and also to Radha Madan for work on documents. Okay, so last time, it's a group effort now, and of course Vasu is recording, always a recording man, so thank you to him, even though you don't hear him many times, but he's recording every class. And also to Ravi and Kalpesh for the technical backup. Okay, with all the Thanksgiving done, let us now, again, today is May 14th, and we continue with the Lat Prakriya, Tinganda Prakaranam, and doing the Lat Prakriya. So last time we came up to this point. I think we were at this point, you also, I hope all of you are looking at the daily examples. They're very, very important because they are the backbone of this class. In the class, you go a little bit fast, you have a limited time. So it is Sankshepana Uchyate. But if you do the Udaharanani, you will get more practice, more confidence. If you can try to answer some questions, you're welcome to do that. You can also email us some questions, something is wrong, something is missing. At least after the answer is given, if you can check that you understand, you follow, and if something is, of course, something missing, unclear, let us know. Because, you know, the answer comes in a few days. So you have some time to think about it and then look at the answer when the answer comes. So please follow our daily examples. They're very, very important because that's where, you know, we can practice all these things. Without practice, you know, it will be too fast. Too fast. And, you know, even today we're going to do the next Lakara, we're going to do it. We'll talk about it. But so please look at the daily examples. They are very important. Okay, so last time we were at the end of this, we had done the Sutam Jontaha. See, one thing about this, we are doing some kind of an abridged version of Siddhanta Kaumudi. The one thing which I always remind you is definitely keep the Ashtadhyayi order in your mind. So where are the biggest risk of doing this kind of thing is that do not lose sight of the Ashtadhyayi. So Jontaha is a sutram in the Angasyadhikaraha. Angasyadhikaraha comes Jontaha. Angasyadhikara starts from 641 and goes to the end of chapter 7. Angasyadhikara. It's Angakaryam. So the basic Ashtadhyayi structure is that Panini puts the sutras in place in chapters 3, 4, and 5. Within that, chapter 3 is Dhatoho. Chapter 4 and 5 are Nya Pratipadikat, which you already have seen, Suojas, etc. Then in chapter 6, 7, and 8, Panini completes the form by doing various kinds of operations. Sandhi rules, Anga Karyani. Within that, 6-4 to end of 7-4 is the Angasyadikara. And there is Sutram, which is Jontaha. Jontaha is very simple. See, the greatness of Panini is to make this complex topic simple by breaking it down into simple bits. So Jontaha is a very simple rule. All it says is that Pratyavayavasya Jasya Antadesha. Jasyantadesha. So Ant comes as a substitute in place of the Jakara of a Pratyaya. Very, very simple. So when you have the form, take the Dhatu Bhu, Lat Lakara. Always please note these first 2-3 steps are going to be common for every Lakara. For every Lakara, no matter how complicated it is, the first step is you add the Lakara to the Dhatu, Lakara. We already see the Lakara that there are 10 of them, Lat, Lit, Lut, Lut, Lot, etc. We've seen in the prior class. Second thing is in which meaning are you bringing the Lakara? Which meaning are you bringing in Lakara? So we can see the Lakara is coming in this meaning of, Leh Karmanicha Bhavecha Karmakebhyaha. So 3, 4, 69. We brought this Lakara in the meaning of Kartari. Right now we will talk about Kartari Prayogaha. Karmani is a completely different topic, so we'll look at it much later. There we will not have the Gana Vyakaranam coming and making a difference in the Gana. But right now it's only Kartari Prayogaha. Also one thing to Karmani, reminder for you from last time is that if you have Karmani or Bhave, only Atmanepadam can be used because of Bhava Karmanoho. So right now we are not doing that, we're using only Kartari Prayogaha. Kartari Prayogaha. So 3, 4, 69. 3, 4, 69 which we are using right now is this La Adesha can be used in La can be used in 2. It can be used Karmani and Cha Bhavecha Karmakebhya. So Karmani or Kartari, when it is a Sakarmaka Dhatu, it can use be Bhave or Kartari Akarmakebhya. So this Lakara can be used in these 2 meanings. We are using the Kartari meaning. Then also we are using 3 to 123, which is going to be Vartamane Lat. Vartaman. This is all from last time, nothing new. Vartamane Lat. But it is an important step because always keep in mind in which meaning a pratyaya is being used. Just because you got the form Bhavati or Bhavanti or Bhavasi, you have to understand what meaning does that pratyaya convey. It's of course very fundamental, but it's important not to lose sight of that. Sometimes you get lost in the prakriya, you don't realize that what meaning does this mean. So that's the very first step. So this Kartari Arthe, it's also going to be Vartamane Lat. Then of course, the Upadesha Arjunanasikrit Halantyam. So these are all common steps. First thing is being the Lakara, this first step. Second thing is that remove these letters by Upadesha Arjunanasikrit Halantyam Tasya Lopaha. And then you do Tiptajji, the appropriate Adesha, as the case may be. Now these are always going to be the common steps in every Lakara. No matter what you have, these steps are going to be very common for all of them. The fourth step after this is that you look at the remaining of 3.4 and see any special karyam for this pratyaya. This is Lakara Sambandhi karyam. Lakara Sambandhi Vikaraha. Adesha might be. So this remaining, I remind you one more time, is that 3, 4, 78 is not a sutram in isolation. It begins the whole section. So even though Tiptaji are defaults, they will get changed immediately depending on the Lakara in place. Okay. So Tit Lakara might cause something, Nit Lakara, we're going to see some rules today, later on in the class. We will have something. So right now in this particular case, we don't have any other sutram from 3.4 coming in. But as a general rule, keep in mind that once you apply 3, 4, 78, Tiptaji, etc., do not leave it. Do not leave it until you scan the remaining of 3.4 to see if the pratyaya might change right there based on Lakara. This is Nitya Karyam. This is a Nitya Karyam because the Lakara itself will dictate the pratyaya should undergo some change. So that is the very first thing you keep in mind when you add a pratyaya Tiptaji is that do not go anywhere else. Do not go anywhere else until you check 3, 4 balance of 3.4 to see. Of course, in the present case, there's no sutra coming here. So G remains G. Of course, G gets sanya of Sarvadhatukam by Ting Shit Sarvadhatukam. Then, of course, because of that, Kartari Shap. Kartari Shap is that if you have a that also requires sarvadhatuke. Sarvadhatuke kartari shap. So this pratyaya got a sanya of sarvadhatukam, so kartari shap. Even though sutram is kartari shap, it has anuvritti of sarvadhatuke, sarvadhatuke, sarvadhatuke. Therefore, it's important to keep the ashtadhyayi order in mind. It's also important to keep the vritti in mind, or preferably both, preferably even both. If you can do both, it's even better. But here it becomes sarvadhatuke, anuvritti comes into kartari shap. So sarvadhatuke kartari shap. If you look at this document here, we can see it here also. With 3168, we have in this document 3168. Let's see, 3168. Ya kartari shap. Kartarthe sarvadhatuke pare dhatoho shap. Okay. So these vrittis are very important. Again, if you want to go to Yulia's document, Tingdanta Prakaranam, this is Siddhanta Kaumudi. Siddhanta Kaumudi. Siddhanta Kaumudi is a Pramana Grantha. Every single word of the Siddhanta Kaumudi has to be digested carefully. It is concise. It is meant to be memorized. The Siddhanta Kaumudi has almost replaced every other grammar text. But the only warning there is that please keep the Ashtadhyayi in your other hand. Don't lose sight of Ashtadhyayi. So Siddhanta Kaumudi is our kind of Veda Grantha, Pramana Grantha. It is every word in the Kaumudi has to be properly, because the scholars have spent hours and hours and hours and literally a lifetime, almost a lifetime, trying to make sure that every single word, every single letter is correct. So I cannot overemphasize that. So Siddhanta Kaumudi, let's see what he says in the, of course, the author is Bhattu Dikshitah. Bhattoji Dikshitah, one of the greatest. He revolutionized the entire science of grammar. Grammar was, given a new life by him. So kartari shap, kartarte sarvadhatuke pare dhatoho shapsyat. Again, thanks to Yulia for typing this document. We'll make more progress as we go along, so we can all use it. We can all use this document now. It says shapa vitau. So shakara and pakara is an it in kartari shap. Let's go back to what we were doing from last time. So we are now here and we get the Jivantaha, Kartari Shap, then Shap gets also Sarvatuka Sanya by thinking she's Sarvadhatukam, then we get the Sarvadhatuka, Ardhatuka, Yoho Gunaha. So Bhu becomes Bho, again nothing new, same from last time, and then you get the the Anubandha Lopaha, where the Shakvatadjite Halantyam Tasya Lopaha, then Echo Yava Yavaha, and finally, Jontaha. Again, one more time, it simply says that Pratyavayavasya Jasyantadesha. This is to be, if you look at the Kaumudi, this is going to say Pratyavayavasya Jasyantadesha Syat. So you can, this is to be memorized. If you can read, memorize means keep on reading. Just like I say, Bhagavad Gita is to be read every as soon as you have any time. And if you want to learn Vyakaranam, the same rule. Keep on reading Siddhanta Kaumudi even if you don't understand anything. It's okay. At least you got everything in your hand now. One single book gives you everything that you need to know about Vyakaranam. So just like Bhagavad Gita is of course fundamental, you have to understand the usage in the language. But the same thing here is Siddhanta Kaumudi, keep on reading. And if you understand one line, one word, slowly, you will give you will lose the fear of that. So, Pratyavayavasya Jasyanta Deshasya. This entire class, in fact any class of Vyakaranam, is basically taking Kaumudi and giving it in some different way with some examples and with some explanation. That's what Vyakaranam is. So, Jasyanta Deshasyat, this Antadesha, again it says Ato Gune Bhavanti, Ato Gune. So let's go back to our document and it says that, so we get Ant, Jakara becomes Ant, so Bhava Anti, of course Ato Gune, because you have a Apadanta Akaraha, this one here, followed by a letter which has the Guna Sanya, Adeng Gunaha. So Pura Parayoho Ekadesha is the Pararupam Ekadesha, so it becomes Bhavanti. Again, you already got examples of this, so this is nothing new for you, just catching up from last time. Now, when we go to the when we go to the Uttama Purusha Ekavachanam, remaining forms are straightforward, which is bhavasi, bhavatha, bhavatha, nothing special there. When it comes to the Uttama Purusha Ekavachanam, up to this point everything is the same. You add the lakara first by in the kartri arthe, and then make it of course vartamane lat, anubandha lopaha, upadesha jananasika it, halantyam, then bring the mippadeshaha. In this case, there's nothing more to do in 3.4. Always check that, but and then we get the mip gets sanya of sarvadhatukam because of things is sarvadhatukam. Kartari shap also gets sanya of sarvadhatukam by things is sarvadhatukam, and then sarvadhatuka ardhadhatika yoho get the guna adeshaha, then followed by again. So all these steps are common. These steps are all common steps from before. Anubandha lopaha lashak prasadyate, and also halantyam here also. And then we get the echo yava yavaha. Then comes ato dirgho yaim. Ato angasya dirgha yayado sarvadhatuke. One more time. This is angasya dhikaraha, again same thing. So this sutram is 73101, which is just one before the sutram supicha, which we have already seen. Like Ramaya, Ramabhyam, etc. We already saw the sutram supicha. So the same thing here is that ato dirgho yai anuvritti goes into supicha. But ato dirgho yai only applies sarvadhatuke. Sarvadhatuke. Of course, supi was in when the sup pratyaya follows. But here ato dirgho yai anuvritti of sarvadhatuke. So always check if every condition is satisfied. So it says that ato angasya, adantasya angasya. Ataha is a visheshanam for angasya. So yena vidhi tadantasya, yena vidhi tadantasya. So when vidhi is given, it's an adjective like that, it means adantam angam. Adantasya angasya dirgho syat yayado sarvadhatuke. Yayado sarvadhatuke. So this is what we have. We have adantam angam, which is bhava. This pratyaya is mip, is yay, because hayava rat lanyamangananam jabhang. So it's makara is included in the yay pratyahara. So this is going to be take the angam takes the adantasya angasya dirgha yayado sarvadhatuke. Adantas ato angasya dirgho yayado sarvadhatuke. So we have the pratyaya which is mip, which begins with the letter yay letter, the makara, and angam ends in the rasvakara. So we get the dirgha, the angam becomes bhavami. So everything was same. Only thing is that you got this last step, which is bhavami, and similarly you get bhavavaha, bhavamaha. Bhavavaha, bhavamaha, because the vakara also is a yai letter, because ha, ya, va, rat, and so is the makara again, because bhavavaha, bhavamaha. Anyway, we already got these examples in the last few weeks, so you will get more, don't worry, you're going to get all 20 examples coming to you every single day. Every single day, you'll have examples, so you have the rest of your life to practice, so don't worry if this is coming too much to you in the first class. If it's sounding too much in the first class, don't worry, there's plenty of time to practice, 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 practice. Every single day, a chance to practice. Of course, as you have time, you can look and practice. Okay, now coming to today's class now, in the Siddhanta Kaumudi order, again, thanks, I think Yulia is here. Thank you, Yulia, for tracking the document, very useful to us. So, which we're using Siddhanta Kaumudi here. Now, in Siddhanta Kaumudi, what happens is that, first of all, he gives the examples here. Saha bhavati, sa bhavati, means he is, or and then tau bhavataha, the two of them are, te bhavanti, which is, many of them are, tvam bhavasi, you are, and yuam bhavataha, the two of you are, yuyam bhavataha, bhavatha, yuyam bhavatha, all of you are, aham bhavami, I am, or I become, then avam, the two of us become, and vayam bhavamaha, all of us become. Now what happens in the Siddhanta Kaumudi is that the next lakara is called parokshe lit lakara. Now, in our class, we are not going to take the lit lakara next. Why is that? Why are we skipping lit lakara? Because of the fact that in the lit lakara, which you will see later on, we won't get the Gana Vikaranam shap. We will not get shap because of the fact that there is a sutram called litcha, which you will not see today, but I'll tell you what it is. Why are we skipping lit lakara? Because as per lakara order, it should be lot. We're going to go to lot directly, and we're going to skip for the time being lit, lut, and rut. We're going to come back to them later. Why are we doing that? Why are we skipping lit lakara for the time being? Reason is as follows. The sutram lit will make the lit pratyaya as give the sanya of ardha dhatukam. So one more time. We are not doing lit lakara. We're not going to do it today. Because of the fact that in lit lakara what happens is that the stipta ji gets the sanya of ardha dhatukam. So shap does not come there. Shap does not come. So we'll have to completely change gears and go to a different route. So we're not going to get the Gana Vikaranam, shap or anything else. So for the time being we're going to skip lit because it will be a completely different methodology there because Gana Vikaranam will not come. We will not have the Angam Bhava. So right now we should get some more practice with this Angam Bhava, and then what can we do with that? So in order to leverage our knowledge the most, same thing so lit will not get the shap Gana Vikaranam. Same thing in the lut we will not get it. Also not get it in the lut or rut. Either one of them will not get it because very briefly, because in the lut and the rut we get apavadas for shap. Apavadas for shap, which is 3133, 3133, 3133. So there also shap will not come. Shap will not come because shatasi rulito ho. Again, we're not going to study these sutras today. We study them much later on, maybe after a few months, because in the lit lakara and the lut lakara and the rut lakara, the Gana Vikaranam does not come, which means that we can study all the dhatus together of all the ganas in one shot. In one shot, when we do lit, when we do lut or rut. So the time being, we will skip lit, lut, and rut because of the fact that Gana Vikaranam shap either will not come or will be overruled by something else. In the lit lakara, the tiptajji gets sanya of ardha dhatukam, so shap cannot come. In the lut and rut, there is a patya. This apavadas are there. This becomes shya and taskam. They overrule shap, so shap cannot come. So we are going to go to the lot lakara now. Lot lakara. We saw in the sut last time the 10 lakaras which we saw in the class last time. We are following the order, but we will not do what Siddhanta Kaumudi does. It will be a little bit difficult for us. It will be difficult for us to get that entire thing right now. In the last class, if you recall, in the beginning of the class, we were talking about the 10 lakaras, right? So I think here we gave the list to you. Here, I think we have it here somewhere. Here. Lut we already done. We're going to skip these 3. We're going to go these 4. We're going to go to actually here, which is lut, we already done. Now lit will get a sanya of ardha dhatukam. Shap cannot come because shap is only sarva dhatuke. Case of lut, the pratyaya tas will come, will overrule shap, which we see later on. In lut, the pratyaya sya will come, will overrule shap. That's why we're going to lot right now because in lot nothing overrules shap. Shap will come, so it will be easy for us. It will be easy. We do the lot, then we're going to go to the lung and the vidhiling. So these we're going to cover these 4 for all the ganas first, and then come back after a few months and then do this lit, lut, rut, and also the lung and rung for all dhatus together. So there will be no gana bheda because of the so gana ashita bheda nasti. There will be no specific karyam for each gana. So one more time, we're going to skip lit, skip lut, and skip rut right now because it's a different prakriya for them. The Gana Vikaranam does not come in those. We're going to go to lot. Okay, so let's look at today. So we're wondering why in the Siddhanta Kaumudi he takes lit is taken next in the due order. So we're going to skip that one. And then also comes the so these are all. So you see what I'm saying is this is a completely different section here. We have to learn all these new. We'll do that, but we'll go in different order, so it will be easier for us to finish all those lakaras when the Gana Vikaranam comes and we get the same angam, which will make it very quite short. So this lut we're going to skip, and also going to skip the rut also. So here, okay, this also we're going to skip, and we're going to jump to the lot lakara. So Yulia is working on this document, so we will all support her. If you see any typos here, let me know. We'll soon make it available to everybody. You can all use this. So Lotcha Sutram. Vidyarteshu dhator lot syat. Just like we had the sutram vartamane lat, we stored in what meaning lat is being used. Vartamane lat, vartamane lat. So similarly here we have the sutram. So vartamane lat we use to bring in the lat lakaraha. But here we're going to use the sutram which is vidyarteshu dhator lot. Lotcha. Lotcha. Lotcha sutram. Lotcha sutram. Now, lot cha means that when Panini uses cha, he's bringing down, one of his ways to bring down information from the prior sutram. The prior sutram was a nice long sutram, vidhi, nimantrana, amantranadhishta, samprashna, prarthaneshu, ling. So ling lakara was prescribed in the 6 meanings. 6 meanings. Next sutram Panini says lot cha. So lot can also be used in those 6 meanings. Very simple. So one more time. Lot cha means that vidyarteshu dhato. Lo vidyadi. Vidya referring to the prior sutram. Vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adhishta, samprashna, prarthaneshu, ling.
Satish,
yes.
The lot in the Vyakaranam by Bhattaji, is there a typo in there or not?
Which one here? Vidyarteshu, this one?
Yeah.
Vidyarteshu, right? Dhator lot.
No, it says here Vidyadishvarteshu.
Vidyarteshu. Oh, Vidyarteshu. Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, Vidyadishu Arteshu. Vidyadishu.
Vidyadyarte. I think it's okay. Vidhi adi arteshu.
That's what I see here. But in another book, it says Vidyadishu Arteshu, Vidyadishvarteshu.
It will be same thing, and because you made a whole compound here. So, so compound is split in some text, some is not split. That's all. So this is also okay, but anyway, thanks for checking. This is
Because Vidyadishu is in the Saptami, right?
Yeah, Vidyadishu Artheshu. So Vidyadi is qualifying Artha.
Yeah, but this is different word then.
You can say Vidyadishu Artheshu. You can also see as a compound Vidyadi Artheshu. I think they're both okay. So so Vidhi Adi, the whole thing is a compound. Vidhi Adi Artheshu. So
I understand. So
both are okay. So Vidyadi Artheshu, Vidhi Adi Artheshu.
Supluk there.
I'm sorry?
Supluk.
Yeah. In the compound supluk, correct. Yeah. So Vidyadyartheshu dhator lo. So what are the 6 meanings now? This of vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adhishta, samprashna, prarthaneshu. Now this is really a long sutram, prapanchanartham really. Because these are all vidhi. Vidhi is like a command. You tell somebody, who is, so the English meaning you can roughly take a command or like an invitation, means something which should be done. So vidhi is to somebody who is younger than you. Vidhi, you give a command to someone younger than you. That's called vidhi. Like a teacher gives a command. Like in Gita the Lord comes, many times. For example, it comes in the chapter 3. It comes at the end. It comes in chapter, let's see, chapter 2. A lot of Atishtottishta Bharata, right? Atishtottishta Bharata comes in chapter. So Lord is this. Gita is full of the Lord Lakaraha. So chapter 3 you can see Jai Shatrum. This is also Jai Shatrum Mahabaho. So it will be also end of chapter 3 comes Lord. Chapter 4 comes Lord. Atishta Uttishta Bharata. So Lord comes in Gita in many places. It's like a commandment. Commandment is this here we can use. So vidhi is like a commandment. So vidhi you can say command. Then the next one is what's called as so next these are all shades of either the command or request. So it's roughly speaking this entire set of these meanings, which is the vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adhishta, only mean like shades of command request. These are and this entire different shades are not that critical. So command / request. So basically, vidhi means a command to someone younger. Nimantrana means that something which should be done. Not doing it will be not good. Amantrana means that You do it, but you may or may not do it. It's a little bit less. See, at every step, there's less and less urgency of the action. So vidhi is a command, you do it. Nimantrana means yes, you should do it. It will be proper to do it. Amantrana means do it, but if you don't want to do it, also it's okay. And adhishta means that it is very respectful, like, please do it. Please do it. Then samprashna is also another meaning, which is that, should we do this? Should I do this? Should I do that? And prarthana, of course, means a prayer request. Now, to give you the gist of this sutra, rather than getting into all these six meanings, simply remember that this is what's called ajñapaka lot. It is a kind of a command/request of various shades. Command/request of various shades. Now, in the Madhya Purusha, when you say Bhavan gacchatu, sorry, gaccha, tam gaccha, or Jai Shatrum Mahabaho, it is most of the time a command, or again the same thing. Someone elder than you, when Arjuna says, Darsha me rupam, chapter 11 of Gita. Chapter 11 is, he says, please show me your Vishwarupam. So that cannot be a command, because he's talking to the Shishya, talking to Guru. So comes in chapter, I think number 4, is Darshayatma, Darshaya, please show me your Vishwarupam. So that cannot be a command from Arjuna to Shri Krishna. It's going to be a request. Now, one more thing is that in English, you can generally translate lot as let. So saha gacchatu, let him go. So let me do this, So the English let may have come from the Sanskritam lot, I don't know, and I don't know about that. But barring the second person, in the third person, you can use the English let to translate very nicely the Lord. So, okay. So one more time is that the meaning which is coming is lotcha. Lotcha means that the 6 meaning in the prior sutra which are given, vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adhishta, samprashna prarthaneshu. Lot can be used in the same meaning, because the prior sutra was talking about ling. Now lot is saying the same meanings. So these are various kinds of. Vidhi is a strong command. Nimantrana is also is a command which is something which should be done. Amantrana means says, okay, you do it if you want. And then adhishta means, like a please do it. Samprashna means, this should be done or that should be done. And prarthana is, of course, a prayer. So there's command/request. So 2 comments. Madhya Purusha will be command request. Otherwise, third person you can also use the English let him go, let him do, let him be, and so on. Now, that's the first meaning. And then comes one more meaning. So if you go back to the Kaumudi, which is, in fact, we have the same thing in our document for today, which is the Lotcha Sutram, is that the affix lot follows the dhatu when used in the sense of command request. Comes in Gita. Manmanabha, Madbhakto, Madhyajimam, Namaskaru. This comes in Gita in 2 chapters. Chapter 9, chapter 18. Similar. So Bhava, Manmana Bhava. So you be one whose mind is fixed on me. Manmana. Of course, this is a command. This is Shri Krishna talking to Arjuna. So Manmana Bhava. You be one whose mind is fixed on me, and so on. Then one more sutram says, Ashishi ling lotau. Ashishi ling lotau. Again, ling and lot can both mean in Ashir Vishishterthe. Means this is the meaning which is Ashi is a blessing. Blessing or a wish on the part of the speaker. On the part of the speaker, that the one who is talking to may be blessed to get something which is good for him, which he doesn't have. That is called the Ashirvada. So Ashish. So there are technically speaking 2 varieties of lot. One is the Ashishi and one is the other one, which is Vidyartheshu. So this is the good news is that in Ashishi there are not many special. There's only really one special form. So whether you're using it in the Ashivadarthe or not, the forms will be the same, except in the Prathama Purusha Ekvachanam, Madhya Purusha Ekvachanam, you have a special form. So one more time, is ling and lot can also be used Ashishi. Means in the sense of benediction. Means in the sense of a wish or a blessing on somebody, to use the so basically it means something that somebody wants, he wants to get. So may he get, like Dirgha Ayushman Bhava, Saubhagyavati Bhava, when they say. So may you be long lived. Just putraste bhavet. putraste bhavatu bhavatat. So may you have a son. So you have a son, may you have a son. So that's a blessing given. So this lot lakara, lot can also be used ashishi. Now the forms will be same, except there's one alternate form which comes in, which you're going to see that later on in the class today. In the Pratham Purusha Ekavachanam and also in the Madhyam Purusha Ekavachanam, there will be an alternate form. Otherwise, the forms are the same, whether it is ashishi or not. So ling and lot can be used ashishi. Ling we'll see later. Later we're looking at lot. That's the second meaning. Second meaning. So in these two meanings, one is vidyadhyartheshu, and also in the ashishi. These are the two meanings, which is very common usage ashishi. Dirghayushman bhava. Everybody, when you namaskara, if it's male, you say Dirghayushman bhava. Otherwise, you say Saubhagyavati bhava. So this is the two commands. So means that is the blessing. So it's a blessing. So that is ashishi ling lo. Okay. Now coming to the prakriya, this is the meaning in which it is used. But the prakriya, when we come to that, what happens is that let's again, when you say bhu plus lot, we are right now doing one dhatu bhu plus lot. Again, this lot is coming in one of these two meanings, either lotcha or ling. Now, there might be other meanings of lot also. These are not the only meanings. Don't think these are the only meanings. There will be there may be others. There may be others. But right now, these two are what we are taking right now. These two are what we are taking right now. Spanini has a number of rules. Number of rules over here at the end of 3.3. You know, where he talks about different ways of using pratyas, these lakaras. So there, you know, so we can take sme, lot. So the other meanings can come. But for the time being, so these are not the only meanings. Don't think the only meanings. There could be other meanings. But this is what we're looking at. The main meanings right now is this vidyadhyartheshu and ashishi. Now, when you take the bhu plus lot, pratham purusha ekavachanam, again kartriyarthe, you go through all the same steps up to the form bhavati. The same steps that you had, lat lakaraha. Of course, you take the anubandha lopaha, bring in the pratyaya tip, because you know this is the by the tingastini things. We won't repeat those anymore. We did in the last class. They're all the same steps. So you know the ting pratyas are grouped in sets of 3. Then ekavachana, dvivachana, bahuvachana, ekashaha, and then of course sheshe prathamaha. After all that, you pick the pratyaya tip and follow the same steps. So we get tip gets sanya sarvadhatukam. Again, kartari shap. The shap comes over here. And then shap is a shit, it gets a sanya sarvadhatukam because things is sarvadhatukam. Then sarvadhatuka ardhatika yoho gunaha, gunadeshaha. Then echo yavaha becomes bhavati. And now comes the one sutram, eruhu. Padacheda is ehe. Ehe is shashti of e, because shashti of hari is harehe. So shashti of e is ehe. So that is the shashti sthane yoga. So basically the ikaraha of the lot lakara. Now this is what I was telling you before, that once you apply tip tajji, do not leave that. Do not leave it until you scan the remaining of 3.4. It's a very fundamental idea. Okay. So when you apply tip tajji, always scan remaining of 3.4. Now when we did the lat lakara for bhu, we did not have anything over here applying at that time. But regard, it's a good habit. It's a good habit. Once you apply 3.478, go through remaining of 3.4, which sees in your lakara that you're using right now. The lakara being used right now, is there any change to the pratyaya? Does the pratyaya change based on the lakara? Maybe take an adesha, maybe take a lopa, maybe. So here we have the sutra which says the 3.480. We are going to now use 3.486. We are using. So loto langvat eruhu serya picha mednihi. So these are a set of rules which apply in the lot lakaraha. So these are the ones. These are ones come in lot lakaraha. So we can look at these. It says so 3.485 to 3.493 are specific rules as to how the lot pratyaya will change right here. You know, so tiptaji will undergo some change. And one sutram here is eruhu. If you have the ikaraha of a lot pratyaya, it becomes ukaraha. Very simple rule. Very simple rule is that it says lotaha ikarasya uhu. Lotaha ikarasya uhu. And Siddhanta Kaumudi says the same thing. Lotaha ikarasya usyat bhavatu. So again, you come to this, all the same steps up to bhavati. Up to bhavati, all the same steps. And only last thing is eruhu, eruhu, eruhu. One more thing I've been telling you many times, when you have a new sutram, please chant it 50, 20, 100,000 times, because that is the simplest, fastest, most optimized way of learning Vyakaranam, is know the sutram. Know, they say, sutre sarvam pratishtatam. Sutre sarvam pratishtatam. Everything in the sutras, everything is there in sutras. Of course, we are doing Siddhanta Kaumudi also to get more explanation, but the first thing is the sutram. Nothing supersedes that. Sutram is the first duty. After that, then you look at the explanation, examples, and details and all that. So eruhu. Eru is saying lota ukar ikarasya usyat. The ehe shashti ekvachanam of e. So that is the shashti sthana yoga. That is the item being operated on, being replaced. So the ikara becomes ukaraha. So now we get the form. Here we are down here. So eruhu, 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 eruhu. So eruhu, we see tingshi sarpatri shab kayoho. Okay, last time. Okay, this time's document. I'm sorry, this one here. Okay, so bhavatu. So everything both is same. Eruhu becomes bhavatu. Now what happens is that this, if it is ashirvadarthe, if we use ashishi, then we get a secondary optional form. Optional form. So we get a form which is used optionally in the ashishi. And what is, so now notice one thing, we are jumping now to 7135. Never lose track of that. Don't lose track of that one fact. So even though Siddhanta Kaumudi, which is basically what we are doing, we only take sutra as we need them, which is fine, but do not lose track of the fact we just jumped from the dhatu adhikaraha to the angasya adhikaraha. So which adhikara are you in? It's like going to a different country, which passport you require. Angasya adhikara require different passport. In the dhatu adhikara, different passport, different government there, different language. Speak a different language there in the dhatu adhikara. Different language spoken in the angasya adhikaraha. Different visa, yes, you require visa to go there. See, this is a different territory here. Angasya adhikara. Angasya means what? That means a pratyaya has been added. Anga karyam is now to be done. So what happens is that you go through all these steps, get to the form bhavatu, same steps. Then what happens, Pani says, Tujo statang ashishya anyatarasyam. Tujo statang ashishi anyatarasyam. Now in this sutram, you see this agama coming here, Tujo statang ashishi anyatarasyam. The sandhi rule. Sandhi rule has been used because what has happened here is nyamo rasvadachi nyamun nityam. Nyamo rasvadachi nyamun nityam. So this was sandhi rule which I think you already have learned. You see many examples of this you already seen. Because tuyo tatang ashishi. This is the tatang. So this is nyakara, is a nyam. So the tatang is preceded by rasva, akaraha, followed by the achi, which is ashishi. You get the nyamut agamaha. So you get this extra nyakara that you're seeing in the sutram is correct. This is not a typo. This is the nyamut agamaha. In this case, the nyut agamaha. So tuyo tatang ashishyantrasyam. So tuyo, in place of tu and he, we get the tatang adeshaha. Only ashishi, only if you use ashirvadarthe. And anyatarasya means in the other case, means optionally. In the alternate case, in the alternate situation, we get in place of tu and he, get the tatang adeshaha. Now that is, let's go to Kaumudi again, same thing here, which is the ashishi tuyoho tatangva. Ashishi tuyoho tatangva. Okay, now let's try to follow what Bhattoji Dikshita is saying. What is the next? He says that anekaltvat sarvadeshaha. Now first of all, let us remind ourselves that if you do any adeshaha, always think of these three rules, which is starting from alontyasya, nitya adeh parasya anekalchit sarvasya. For the rest of your life, remember that if whenever you do an adesha, you have to look at these four rules, determine where the adesha will go. Will replace the entire sthani, only the ending letter, or something else. So alontyasya is a default rule. Alontyasya, which means that a substitute will, as a general rule, as a first rule, will only replace the ending letter of the term being substituted, which is called the sthani. The sthani is in the Shashti, in the Sutram, Shashti Sthani Yoga. It will, so an adesha will only replace the ending letter. Alontyasya, antya, al means letter. Al means the pratyahara includes all letters, right? So alaha, antyasya alasthane, in the ending letter. Now, right now we don't want that. What we have right now is that we want to get the form bhavatat. So we want to replace the entire tu by tat. So we don't want alontyasya. We want sarvadesha atra ishyate, sarvadesha. So what does Bhattoji say? Bhattoji says that anekaltvat sarvadesha. Anekaltvat sarvadesha. See, Siddhanta Kaumudi try to understand every single statement which is being made by, this great scholar who's our Pramana Acharya. Now, why does he even bother to say this? Isn't it obvious? Okay, in the Tatang Adisha, first of all, in the Tatang, by the Halantyam. By Halantyam, the ending Akara is in it, in Tatang. And second thing is that the Akara is Ucharanartham. So only the Tat remains. Only Tat remains. See, the Tatanga Adesha, what happens is that the Halantyam, the Nyakara is in it, and the Akara in Tatang, this Akara is Ucharanartham. So only Tat, Anubandha Lope Tat, Anubandha Lope. When you talk about Adesha being Anekal, Eka, Chaladi, Ajadi, anything, remove the it letters first. The it letters are only the packaging, the only instructions which came in the package. The it letters are not a part of the package. They are only the packaging which came in instructions. Some kind of packing is being done. So when you talk about the Adesha itself, or the Pratyaya itself, or the Agama itself, remove the it letters first. Basic fundamental rule. So here in Tatang, Anubandha Lope Tat. Okay, now why Siddhanta Kaumudi even bothering to tell us Anekashi Sarvasya? The straightforward rule. Because there's a complication here. What's the complication? The complication is that the Tatang does have the Ng as an it. So now that Nitya Sutram was telling us that if you have a Ng as an it in the Adesha, even if it is Anekal, it should only replace the ending letter. So Nit Adesha Anekalapi Antasya Alasthane Bhavati. We see that, like we saw a Sutram, right? Anangsau. When we did Sakhi Shabdaha. We did Sakhi Shabdaha, you got many examples of that already. So we got Anangsau, Anangadesha, which we have done. We have used many times in the examples. Again, please follow the daily examples. Please follow. A lot of work being done by Kumud and by Yulia and by Radha, but they're doing a lot of work to put the examples for you every single day. Please follow if you can, whatever time you have. So Ananga Adesha, we have seen many times. So Anang is the Adesha, which is Anubandha Lope An. It's an Anekala Adesha. But because of the Ng as an it, by Nitya, it became went back into Alontyasya. So one more time, Ananga Adesha, Anubandha Lope An. It's an Anekala Adesha, which we have seen before, and that should, by Anekachi Sarvasya, replace the entire sthani. But because Ng is an it, it only replaced the ending letter because of Nitya. Now, why not the same logic for Tatang? Tatang can be the same thing, because Tatang also is Anubandha Lope Tat, Anekala Adesha. It also has Ng as an it. So why don't we say that Tatang should also be only Nitya Sutrena Antasya Alasthane Syat Kasmanna Bhavati? Okay, that's the complication here. The complication is that Tatang does have Ng as an it. It is an Adesha. So as for Nitya, it seems it should override Anekashis Sarvasya and again go back to Alontyasya. But that is not what happens. So that is why you understand now that why does Bhattoji spend 2 lines, 3 lines in the Kaumudi to explain that. See, Bhattoji will not waste a single word. He will not waste a single letter. The fact that he has put 2 lines, I mean, there's a complication here. The complication is the tatangadesha anubandhalopestat is anekaladesha. So anekashi sarvasya, but it does have the ngas in it by halantyam. So by nitya, should have gone back to the alontyasya. But that is not happening. This doesn't apply here. Why not? Why not? Now he answers that. He answers that. So let's try to follow this for 1 second. Yadyapi, even though, yadyapi, nitya iti ayam apavadaha. He says, even though, nitya is an apavadaha, nitya iti apavadaha, right? And then he says that, tathapi ananyartha nitveshu anangadishu charitartha. Okay, let's follow this. What he's saying is that when that nyakara, like in the anangadesha, that nyakara as an it had no other use. It had no other anya prayojanam nasti. So ananyartha nyit. So like a adesha like anang, like anang sau. There the nyakara has no other purpose. The only purpose is to apply nitya. So in anang sau, etc., which you used before, anang sau, which an example I'm giving you, there that nyakara as an it in anang has no other prayojanam, anyat prayojanam na sambhavati. There can be no other use of putting that na as an it except to apply nitya. So there's a very clear case that adesha should only go by the alontyasya. But what he says is that guna vriddhi pratishedha samprasaranadyarthataya sambhavat prayojana nyakare tatangi mantaram pravrittaha parena badyate. Okay, let's go slowly now. What he's saying is that the nyakara and it in tatang does have other uses. It does have other very important, which we'll see later. We won't see in today's class, but what's saying is guna vriddhi pratishedha. A sutram called kiniticha, which we will see later on very soon. It's a very important sutram which we will not see today. We don't need it today, but we see later on. Kiniticha. Sorry, it's number 115. Sorry, 115, kiniticha. So pratyaya, which is kit or nit, will not do the guna or vriddhi adesha. So kiniticha is a prayojanam for having the ngakara as an it in the tatanga adesha. So tatang will become nit. It does have other uses. And one important use is by 115 kiniticha that tatang cannot do any guna or vriddhi. It becomes important, so to speak. It cannot do any guna vriddhi. Second thing is that samprasaranam. Samprasaranam also will not be, you already seen samprasaranam before, but samprasaranam is coming in these two sutras, 6.1, 15, 16, not today's topic, but the sutram 6.1, 16 says that pratyaya, which is nit, can cause samprasaranam for some dhatus. So pratyaya, which is nit, can cause samprasaranam for some dhatus. This is the second use of having nyakara and it in tatang. So not only will it stop guna vriddhi by 115, it can also be used for samprasaranam by 6.1.16, and there are also some other uses for it also. So guna vriddhi pratishedha, which is the sutram 115 kiniticha, samprasarana adi is others also, arthataya, which has these other uses. Sambhavat prayojanak nyakare, so it has a prayojanam besides not only nitya, but it has other uses. Tatangi, so tatang has a nyakara, which has other uses, which are these, such as these. Mantaram pravrittaha parena badyate. So this what happens, that this mantaram means it has a very dull, you know the mantara, right? In Ramayana we have the word mantara, one who's slow or dull, mantara, walks slowly, mantara. So mantra pravrittam means which has lost its edge. So what he's saying is that the sutram nitya, which is 1153, has its power, really only when the nyakara does not have other uses. When the nyakara of an adesha has other possibilities for uses, in that case 1153 nitya loses its edge, loses its power. It becomes dull. And then what happens is that we go to the parakaryam, anekashis sarvasya, because vipratishede parankaryam. Don't forget this Pani Sutram. Vipratishede parankaryam. So when there's a conflict between 1153, 1155, then 1155 is parakaryam. Normally, if the nyakara has no other prayojanam, nitya becomes apavada of alontyasya. One more time. In a adesha like anang sav, nyakara has no other use. Therefore, nitya is to be used. Otherwise, the nyakara will be useless. So, basic idea is that in an adesha like anang sav, in the sakhi shabda, when we use that anang, having merged it in anang will have no other use. So, therefore, we have to use nitya to justify nyakara. In an adesha like tatang, the nyakara has other uses. So, it will not become useless if you don't apply nitya. So, then when that's the situation, then you use anekachit sarvasya. It's a later rule in Ashtadhyayi. Vipratishyade parankaryam. The gist of it is that in an adesha, when nyakara has no other prayojanam, in that case nitya becomes apavada. And then we have to use nitya and make it and go back to alontyasya. But when nyakara has other uses, like in tatang, then in that case we cannot claim apavada of this one. We cannot say vachana samarthya, we cannot say. It has other uses. So it will not be useless. The nyakara in the tatang will not be useless if we don't use nitya. It has other uses. So in that case, we go back to anekachis. We go to anekachis sarvasya, replace the entire sthani. So if you can just reflect on this, and we'll get examples again, and we'll give you examples. They're coming. So I'll read one more time. Anekaltvat sarvadesha. So the tatang, it takes a sarvadesha, replace the entire two, anekal. He says yajyapi, even though, nitya iti ayam apavadaha. Nitya is an apavadaha. This nitya is apavada normally. Normally it's an apavada of anekachis sarvasya. This is an apavada. Yajyapi nitya iti ayam apavadaha, tathapi ananyartha nitveshu anangadishu charitarthaha. It has found its usage in adesha like ananga. But iti Gunavriddhi Pratishedha Samprasaranadyarthataya Sambhavat Prayojana Nyakare Tatangi. When it comes to Tatang, which has a Nyakaraha, which has other possible usages. So you can see that this Sambhavat Prayojana Nyakare, and which are going to be Gunavriddhi Pratishedha, which is the Kiniticha 115, also by the Samprasarana number 6116 and other usages. Then Mantharam Pravrittaha. Mantharam means it has lost its edge, becomes dull. So nitya loses its power. Parena badhyate. So it gets overruled by anekachis sarvasya. Very simply speaking, the nyakara in tatang will not be useless if we don't use nitya. And then on that fact, anekachis sarvasya is a parakaryam that is to be used. Because we cannot claim apavadatham of nitya in the case of tatang. Same thing is said later on. Iha utsarga apavadayorapi samabalatvat bhavatat. Because now the utsarga is general rule. Anekachis sarvasya. Nitya is apavada normally. But now that comes to regard equal, because this cannot be claimed as apavada anymore, because the nitya has different other usages. So then we go to the parakaryam anekachis sarvasya. I hope you followed this. If not, think about it, what we just said. So in this case, tatang, even though it's a nit, it becomes anekachis sarvasya because the nyakara has other usages, has other purpose. So we made the tatang adesha. So in the ashirvadarthe, ashishi, there will be an alternate form called bhavatat. This form is not in the Gita. The tatang is not in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita doesn't have tatang. So basically we can say that, this bhavatu and bhavatat will be two optional forms. You can also use bhavati, also can be used. You can use bhavatu and bhavatat, both ashishi. So both can be used. But bhavatat can only be used ashishi. You cannot say bhavatat if you don't have the ashirvad artha. So bhavatu can be used in ashirvad arthe or in other meaning vidyadi artheshu. But bhavatat can only be used ashishi. So ashishi, there are two forms, bhavatu and bhavatat. Okay, so we got bhavatu, bhavatat in ashishi, otherwise only bhavatu. Okay, now we will do the next form, which is the prathama purusha dvivachanam. For that we need two sutras here, three actually. Loto langvat. Is called atidesha sutram. It extends the lot to become like langvat. It behaves like the lang lakara behaves. So loto langvat. langvat karyam bhavati, means whatever karyam was to be done for the lang lakara, same karyam can be done for the lot lakara. That's the bottom line. Langvat means the karyam, langvat karyam bhavati. So operations which the lung will take, lot will also take. And then he says, Tamadayaha salopascha. Tamadayaha salopascha. What is that now? Is what is happening is that in the in 3478 Tiptasji, below that you have this sutram which says this Nityam nitaha itascha tastasvamipam tam tam tamaha. These three set of rules are coming for lakara which has known as an it. We're going to see them today. We're going to see two of these today. We're going to see this one here and also this one here. Let's look at these two briefly right now, so what you can understand this statement. So one more time. Loto Langvat is an Atidesha Sutram, which is 3485 up here, 3485. So, and that says that whatever operations Lang Lakara will take, same operations Lot will take. Now what are the operations? And to answer that, the Kaumudi says, Tamadeha Salopascha. Tamadeha Salopascha. Which are those two now? They are here. They are here in this one, Tastasvamipam Tam Tam Tamaha, and also the Nityam Nitaha. So let's look at these two first. Now, notice that this one is not being taken. Itascha is not being taken. Itascha. Why is not being taken? Because of the fact that Itascha says that in the nit lakara, like lung, the ending ikara takes lopaha. Now that will not jive with the lot. Lot lakara we already saw sutram eruho. We already saw eruho. So Panini specifically say that ikara of lot will take a ukara adesha. One more time. Eru we already have seen. The ikara of a lot pratyaya takes the ukara adesha. Now we cannot again say itascha. Itascha says the ending ikara takes lopaha. Lopaha. So even though loto langvat, lot behaves like lung, but this operation itascha will not come because it is vachana samarthyat. Because Panini has said eruhu, eruhu, eruhu. Because eruhu cannot be compatible with itascha. Itascha is saying the ending ikara takes lopaha for nit lakaraha. Eru is saying the ikara of lot takes the ukara desha. So even though loto langvat and lung has these three rules coming, we will not be taking this one. This one will not come because incompatible. Incompatible with the special rules Panini has eruhu. So one more time. Loto langvat means lot lakara which is the same operation as lang lakara. Now, there are three rules coming here. Nityam nitaha, itascha and tastasvamipam tam tam tamaha. We'll be taking these two rules, tastasvamipam tam tam tamaha, which is tamadeha. We'll be also taking the sakar lopaha. The sakar lopa is going to come here. This sakar lopaha. Anuvritti of sa lopa is coming down. We're going to take this one. We are not going to be taking itascha for the simple reason that if we do that, then the sutram eru will have no meaning. Eru will have no meaning. So fact that Pani is saying eru specifically for lot, is saying that means the ikara of lot has to take the ukara desha. So loto langvat will not bring in itascha. Okay, that's the reason. So we'll only take nityam nitaha and tastasvamipam tam tam tamaha. Will not take itascha. Itascha will be incompatible with eruhu because eru is specifically for lot. Pani already has said. Okay, so loto langvat. Now what do we have in the form now? We have the tastasvamipam tam tam tamaha. Now this is that nitaha. So if lakara has to have as an it. Nitaha lakarasya chaturnam. These four pratyas, which is tas, thas, tha, and mip. One more time. Tas, pratham purusha, dvivachanam. Third person dual, tas. Then comes thas, madhyam purusha dvivachanam. Second person dual. Then comes tha, madhyam purusha bahuvachanam. And mip, which is uttam purusha ekavachanam. In place of these comes tam, tam, ta, and So tas becomes tam, thas becomes tam, tha becomes ta, and mip becomes So tas, thas, tha, mipam, tam, tan, tamaha. tas tamipam tam tan tamaha. Now, this is one sutra which is a Paribhasha sutra which we have seen a long time ago. We've been using this. It wasn't in the document so far. So I put in the document because this is a sutra which we have really used before. We have used one before, but I found it was not in our documents. I put in the document this time a little bit late, but it's okay. Yatha sankhya anudesha samanam. So yatha sankhya anudesha. When there is a vidhi, samasambandhi vidhi, yatha sankhyam syat. When there is an operation between, X number of items, to be done respectively. So if 3 items operate on 3 items, then they will operate respectively. The first on the first, second on the second, third on the third. So basically, the 3 items are operating on 3 terms, then they will operate respectively. 4 on 4, 5 on 5. So yatha sankham. So samasambandhi vidhi. Samasambandhi, which is there are 3 items or 4 items or 5 items operating on the same number of items, 3, 4 or 5. Yatha sankham means as per the order. As order, respectively, as per the order syat. So here we have tas tamipam tam tam tamaha. So we have 4 of these substitutes. 4 of the item being substituted. So tas, third, mip are being, they are the sthani. So they are the sthani. 1 second. So this is some sort of violation. Okay. I think Kalpesh is here. Okay. So tastastamipam, then tam tam tamaha. We'll get these 4 adeshas yatha sankham. So in place of tas comes tam, comes of because we have seen these 2 rules how to decide when there's a choice. Which adesha will come in place of which. So we had a sutram which is the sthanyantaratamaha, which means the closest substitute in terms of sthana, and then prayatna later on. We saw this one, sthanyantaratamaha, and the other one is this one, which is the yatha sankhya anudesha samanam. So here there is no question of sthana coming here. This is only a question of the yatha sankhya. So become tas tamipam tam tam tamaha. So it will be without this rule you cannot decipher what replaces what. So very simply, respectively. So the first tas will be replaced by tam, tas by tam, tha by ta, and mip by So nitas chaturnam tamadeyaha kramat. This kramat means in order. The yatha sankham siho. So ting pratyaha tas and mip lakara, which is a nyit, are replaced by tam, tam, ta, and So when we take the dhatu bhu, again follow usual steps, bhu plus lot, vivaksha is prathama purusha dvivachanam, pratyaya comes tas by tiptajji, the usual rules, and then we take the tama adesha by loto langvat, tastastamipam tam tam tamaha. Because first of all, this sutram tastastamipam tam tam tamaha requires a lakara which is a nyit. We don't have that. We have lotra, but loto langvat. So lot will take the same operations as lung takes. And lung will take the tastastamipam tam tam tamaha. Therefore, by extension, lot will also take the same operation. So tas becomes tam. And also this ending makara of tam will not be an it, because remember, vibhaktishcha sutram, this thing also has vibhakti sanya, right? Vibhaktishcha sutram. So vibhaktishcha is also, this has the vibhaktishcha. So that is, we saw a sutram which defines the vibhakti sanya, supaha. So tingas trini supa vibhaktishcha. So both this, just like supratya, ting pratyaya also have the sanya vibhakti. So by na vibhakta utusmaha, this ending makara of tam will not be an it. So then we of course bring the tam gets, because tas had a sanya sarvadhatukam, but ting shit sarvadhatukam, tam is an adesha. So sthanivad adesha anal vidhav becomes sthanivad bhavaha. So the tam also gets the sanya sarvadhatukam, and then kartari shap, usual steps. Shabd as the guna bho becomes bhu becomes bho, sarvadhatu arzakayoho, then echo yavaha and bhavatam. So only special thing here was that tas became tam. By loto langvat tastastamipam tam tam tamaha. This is Pratha Purusha Dvivachanam. When we look at Pratha Purusha Bhuvachanam, there's nothing really special, because we go to the Today's Suchi, Sutta Suchi, Udharana Suchi. Let's see. Today we will get the Sutta Suchi, Udharanani. So when we go to today's example, you see that when we get when in the Bahuvachanam, there will be nothing special form, because we'll only be going to get the form Bhavanti, and finally go to the form Bhavati. So Bhavanti and then Bhavati. So there's nothing special beyond that, So Bhavanti will become Bhavati. So actually we have this. Give me 1 second. Udaharanani. Okay. Sutra Suchi. Okay. Right. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me. So we have another document here. I don't know. I didn't bring that up. I thought I brought that up. Okay. The website has a lot of work going into it. So this in today's class, we look at this one, and a lot of work by Radha on this document. So here we say the Prathama Purusha Bahuvachanam. When we do, we take Bhu plus G, go through the same steps, becomes Bhavanti, Ajyoantaha, and then become Bhavantu by Eruhu. We already saw Eruhu. Eru already we saw. So we become Bhavantu. Bhavantu becomes Eruhu. So by the Prathama Purusha Bahuvachanam up to Bhavanti, all the same steps, and Eruhu, the Lotaha Ikarasya Usyat, becomes Bhavantu. We take Mandya Purusha, now we just go back. Mandya Purusha Eka Vachanam when we have. Now comes some extra rules. So let's go back to this one. Look at the Mandya Purusha Eka Vachanam. So when we get the Udharanam of Udharanam is Bhava. Machchita Sasadam Bhava. Bhava comes in Gita many times. Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, right? We saw the example already in Gita. Chapter 9, last verse of Gita. Manmana of chapter 9. So Bhu plus Lot, Vivaksha Mandya Purusha Ekavachanam. Then we get use Bhu plus La Anubandha Lopaha. Bhu plus Sip comes over here. Sisanya. Now what happens is that at this point, this Sip gets the Adesh of He by Serya Picha. So Lotaha, Ser Hi, So Picha. So when we have, coming back to this Ashtadhyaya for a second, that in the Lot Lakara we saw there were some special rules. So, Loto Langvat we already saw. Eru also we already saw. Now Serya Picha is saying that the Sihi, this is Sehe Shashti of Si. In place of the Pratyaya Si, which of course is Sip with the Anubandha Pakar removed, in place of Si, get the Hi Adesha. So the Sip Pratyaya, the Si of a Lot Lakara, of Lot will take the Hi Adesha, Serya Picha. So Serya Picha. The moment we get, so what's going to happen here is that, then when we take the Madhya Purusha Ekavachanam, we got Bhu plus Lot, then we take Bhu plus Sip. Now Serya Picha is takes the Sip becomes He. Sip becomes He, gets the Hi Adesha. And after that, so we go through the steps and bringing in, of course, He also gets Sanya Sarvadhatukam because of this Thanivat Bhava, because Sip Sanya Sarvadhatukam by Tingshis Sarvadhatukam. Sip gets Sanya Sarvadhatukam. Now He gives an Adesha for Sip by Serya Picha. It also gets the Sanya of Sarvadhatukam because of the Thanivat Adesha Anal Vidhau. Thanivat Adesha Anal Vidhau. So, and so then we can bring Kartari Shab. As usual, Shabd as Gunaha, Sarvadhatu Karadakayoho. Then you get Echo Yava, Yava gets Bhavashi. Now comes the next rule, which is the Ato He He. Now notice one thing. We're going to jump to the youngest Adhikara again now. Because we had Serya Picha. This was in 3487. So Serya Picha is dependent on the Lot Lakara only. Also, one more thing is that this He is an Apit. It doesn't affect us right now. This part you can ignore for the time being. So Picha. So what Panini says is that the He takes the Sip takes the Hi Adesha. The Hi Adesha becomes Apit. Because normally the Sip is a Pit Laka, is a Pit. So by the Thanivat Adesha, Anal Vidhau, even the Hi Adesha should become Pit, because the Adesha inherits the properties of the term being replaced. Because Sip was a Pit, He also would have been Pit normally. But Pani specifically says Apicha. So this He, the Pratyaya He now will not have the Pitness. But that does not affect us today right now. But later on we'll see a situation, because right now we have Shap in between. And the He cannot do any guna of Shap anyway. Because right now what we're doing is that we'll have bhu plus shap plus he. Bhu plus shap plus he. So there will be no chance of the he doing any guna or any operation on the shap. So this apiccha will not have any effect for us right now. But later on, we will see a rule which will say that, not for today. Later on we see a rule which says that sarvadhatukam apitta. Sarvadhatukam apitta. So later on we will see a rule which is going to tell us that if we have pratyaya, sanya sarvadhatukam, if it is apit becomes nitvat. So this, and we will, that then the he pratyaya will come under the domain of this rule 1, 2, 4. Today we don't need this. We don't need this today. So ignore it. You ignore it for a time being. But this apiccha has a significance. We will see it later on, because this 1, 2, 4 will start applying for the he pratyaya. So here it says lotus hair he so picture. So the so picture we ignore for today. We'll come back to it later on. It will have some significance for us. So this he adesha is the he pratyaya now will not be pit, even though it replaced sip, which was pit. Panis removes the pitness of he by saying apiccha. Apiccha. So C of load replaced by he. So we got bhava he. Up to this point we got. So just like in lat lakar we got bhava C, became bhava he. Bhava he. Now what happens is that ato he he. Ato he he. Now we're going to angasya adhikara. Watch out now. We're going to angasya adhikara. So basically all the operations here have been completed. So we got the pratyaya tiptaji. We made the he adesha, which was based completely on the lakara being load. Now we go to angasya adhikara. To finish the final operation, we say ato he he. Atah parasya he luk. Atah parasya he luk. So when you have adantamangam, so we have the form bhava he right now. So bhava he we have, and adantat angasya parasya he luk syat. So the he takes look. That's why you get form like gacha, uttishta, labha. So not labha. Labha is apanipadam. Labha. So like uttishta, gacha, patha, all these forms you get simple form because of ato he he. Ato he he says if you have adantamangam, then because bhava he we had bhava he. By Serya picture we got bhava he. Now after that we get the form bhava. So dirgha ishman bhava. So we get bhava. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the counter example where it doesn't happen is perhaps bruhi and dehi.
Yes, bruhi and dehi, because you don't have adantamangam there.
Yeah.
But what to saying in the form like bruhi. So dehi. So all these forms apnuhi. So in those forms it does not become, we don't have adantamangam. So this one adantamangam only if you have, we get the form here looks here. So bhava he becomes so. One more time. We have only two rules here. Serya picture. Serya picture, if you are lot lakara, then the C becomes he. And second operation says that, so that's for any lot, no matter what the dhatu is, as long as lot lakara is there, the C becomes he. As simple as only with lakara. So for any dhatu, padam, sip comes, sip becomes he in lot lakara. Now this sutram is for only for ataha. Only if the angam ends in shasvakaraha, then only here looks yat. So 64105, the specific rule only if the angam ends, so don't confuse these two. Serya picture is general rule for any lot as long as sip is there, it's going to become he. But ato he requires, if you have adantamangam, then he look. He look, it will take look. So finally get the form bhava. So we can say dirgha ashman bhava, saubhagyavati bhava. Remember this sutram, serya picture, ato he. Serya picture, ato he. Serya picture in 3.4. So lakara sambandhi adesha. Ato he angasya adhikara. It requires adantamangam, the he takes look, we get bhava. So now that's what we got. So when you go to the remaining forms, when we look at the madhya purusha dvivachanam, again we do, so we got bhu plus load, nothing special here. Put the lakara, la becomes thas as usual. Then tastasmipam tam tam tamaha loto langvat. Loto langvat tastasmipam tam tam tamaha. We saw it before by 3485. Loto langvat, loto langvat, loto langvat, loto langvat, loto langvat. And then tastasmipam tam tam tamaha, because the thas is going to become tam. Thas becomes tam for lakara in the lung. Same thing happening in lot. So the madhya purusha dvivachanam will get the form up to bhava, bhava. So instead of bhava, bhu plus thas, you're going to get bhu plus tam, bhu plus tam. And then, of course, then shap comes in because thas had a sanya sarvadhatukam, but tam is an adesha, thanivad adesha, anal vidhav. So it's going to take also the sanya sarvadhatukam, kartari shap, sarvadhatukam gunaha, echo yava yavaha, and then becomes, sorry, yeah, guna adesha, then become bhavatam. So bhavatam. Only thing is that thas becomes tam by tastastamipam tam tam tamaha, and then it will be loto langvat tastastamipam tam tam tamaha. Similarly in the bahuvachanam, same thing, pratyaya was tha, the tha becomes ta because of tastastamipam tam tam tamaha, loto langvat, and we get the form bhavata. Remember the angam is still bhava, bhava, bhava. That's why we didn't do the lakar, lit, etc. because we want to keep the angam bhava for time being. Keep it easy for us. For the time being, we only focus on those lakaras that the angam will stay as bhava. So all these other thing of shab coming in, shab being guna adesha by sarvasakartake yoho, and then the echoyavayava is all common work. All common work for all of these. It will be a little bit easier for us. So the bhava is this common work. It's common work, all of this. Of course, you should not skip steps like that, but this part is going to be common. It's going to be common operations. Only focus on what's happening in the end over here. So only loto langvat tastasmipam tam tam tamaha. Now, because uttabrusa ekavachanam, we need a new rule. So let's see. We have bhu plus mip by the usual steps, bhu plus mip. Now what happens is that the mip takes a ni adeshaha. Mip takes a ni adeshaha. Mip takes the ni adeshaha. Mer nihi, mer nihi, mer nihi. Very simple sutram, mer nihi, mer nihi, mer nihi, mer nihi. So what it's saying is that mer nihi, again the same section. Again look to in 3.4 now. 3.4 means lakara sambandhi adeshaha. This is not angasya adhikaraha. This is to be immediately done. Immediately when you bring the pratyaya mip in place of lot, that mip should be made ni, made nihi. So one more time I'll tell you today is that when you apply tiptasji, etc., do not leave it, do not leave it, do not leave it until you scan remaining of 3.4. Now, as I told you, we have this lotaha, langvat, eruhu, serya picha, mednihi, and these are all for the lot lakaraha. We're going to use some of them today. So one of them is mednihi. So mehe, again like harehe. So the mip in place, so just like serya picha, mednihi. So mednihi is in place of the me of the pratyaya mip. Of course, the pakar it by halantyam. So me becomes ni. Me becomes ni. So now the question is that in this adesha of ni and adesha of he, why do we not use eruhu? Because eruhu has told us already that for in the lot lakara, the ikara becomes ukara. We got the form bhavatu, we got the form bhavantu. Now the thing is that when we do this made nihi, why does the ni not become nu? Because eruhu has told us that the lot ikara should become ukara. But it does not. It does not because of the fact that Panini's space, Shasi says made nihi. He could have said made no, but made nihi. So vachana samarthyat. Vachana samarthyat, the ni and the he does not become who or no. If you go to Siddhanta Kaumadi of Yulia, what is coming there is that the Kaumadi, if you look over here, loto langvat, and it says that bhavata bhavantu serya picha bhavatat, I think misyat here. Hinyo ho utvam na ikar ucharana samarthyat. The serya picha, that he which comes there, and mer nihi, which ni comes there, that ikara of he and the ikara of ni will not become u. Why not? Because the fact that vachana ikara ucharana samarthyat. Because Panini said specifically put he, put ni. So there we cannot say, because if Panini wanted to make it who or no, we said who or no. So because specifically Panini says put he, put ni, that ikara will not further change by eru and become an ukaraha. One more point is that in tastastamipam tam tam tamaha, which we have been using, loto langvat, tastastamipam tam tam tamaha, notice that the mip should have become Because tas mipam tam tam ta amaha tamaha. So mip should have become But now we got mer nihi as a special sutram. So Pani is specifically saying the mip the mi of mip should become ni. Because if you make the mip into an by tasasmipam tam tam tamaha, then mer nihi will have no application. So even though tasasmipam tam tam tamaha are 4 substitutes for 4 terms, we only use 3. We don't use the 4th one of mip becoming because of the fact that specifically Panini says in lot lakaraha, mi has to become ni. So then if you make me into then there's no point of Panini saying mer nihi. Again, vachana samarthyat. The mip does not become it becomes ni. And furthermore, the ni does not become nu, vachana samarthyat, because ikar uchchana samarthyat. So this is what Bhattoji Siddhanta Kaumudi says, is that hinyo ho utvam na. Hinyo ho. So he and ni. Utvam na. They don't take the ukaradesha. Why? Ikar uchcharana samarthyat. So one more time, Merni is saying that the mi becomes ni and doesn't become and also ni does not become nu by eruhu because of ikar uchcharana samarthyat. So that's what form do we have now? We have the form which is the, again the angam bhava will be the same. Instead of mip, it becomes ni. Mip becomes ni. Now comes another sutra. Aruttamasya picca. Aruttamasya picca. Again, one more time. Don't be afraid if you got many rules coming today. You have the rest of your life to practice these. And every single day you'll get examples. So even though today they're all looking foreign to you, but in about a few weeks or months, a couple, even if it takes a year, the rest of your life, like even we do the Subandha Prakriya when we did, Ato Bhisa Ais and Near Yaha, Smart Swino, just a she, it's all going to be easy for you now. We practice them for 1 year, and we're going to practice them for more also. So even though today we're going a lot of new rules you have, Loto Langva, Tasam Tam Tam Tamaha, Seriya Picture, and all these new rules coming today, Aruttamasya Picture. So now, hang on to them for today. You'll get ample time to practice these. You'll get plenty time to practice these. Every single day get examples. So don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged because you have too many rules today. This is only giving you a heads up for the examples coming every day. Okay, so you're going to hang on to these, and you're going to practice these every time you get examples. So Aruttamasya Picca, what does that say? Aruttamasya Picca, Aruttamasya Picca, Aruttamasya Picca. That says that if you have the Lord Uttamasya Art Syat Picca. So if you have Uttam Purusha Pratyaya of Lord, only Lord Uttamasya. So Uttam Purusha, the Pratyaya has to be Uttam Purusha Pratyaya of the Lot Lakaraha. It takes the Ad Agamaha and that becomes a Pit. Becomes a Pit. Now you might ask, what's the big deal? Because Mip was already a Pit. In place of Mip came Ni. By Sthanivat Bhavaha, even Mip will be, Ni also will be a Pit. Then what's the point of saying Pitcha? That is true. In the case of Mip becoming Ni and then taking the Ad Agamaha, no point saying Pitcha. But in the Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam, when you do was and must, the was and must don't have a pit. So this picture will have significance in the Dvivachanam and the Bahuvachanam because there the was and the must pratyaya do not have pers and it. But this art which comes in there comes and joins to them because this art comes in the Uttam Purusha for all of them. In fact, this art comes not only in Parasmai Padam, also comes in Atmane Padam. So it's a very wide sutram. So Lord Aruttamasya Picca, as long as you have a Lord Lakaraha, Uttam Purusha Pratyaya, it takes the Art Agamaha. And that Art Agamaha, of course, Adyanta Tekitav goes to the beginning, and it makes the entire Pratyaya Pit. In case of Mip becoming Ni, there's no significance. Mip was already Pit. But in the Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam, when you do the was and must, put the Ad Agamaha, it make the entire thing into a Pit. It has significance. So one more time, Lot Lakara only. Again, the same section of starting from this Loto, Langvat, Eruho, Seriya Picca, Mednihi, Aruttamasya Picca. That if you have a Lot Lakara, Pratyaya Uttam Purusha, it takes the Art Agamaha, it entire Pratyaya becomes Pit, Adyanta Takitav. So now what we had, and this is also in Parasmai Padam, Atmane Padam in both places. So Uttam Purusha Pratyaya of Lord takes the Ad Agamaha. Aruttamasya picca, aruttamasya picca, aruttamasya picca. Again, these are all new for you today, but you're going to hear them 1,000 times because every lakarana, every dhatu we do, you're going to have the same rules coming. Every single dhatu that we do, when we put lot lakara, have to go through all these same rules, every single, that like with every prajapatikam, we have su, just and everything, same thing, same thing, same thing. Same thing here also. Every time we have lot, all these same rules. Serya picca, medni, ato he, if it applies, tasatmipam tam tam tamaha, loto langvad, aduttamasya picca. Every class is going to be the same thing over again. So practice. So we have medni, then we got the aduttamasya picca, we got the adagama, ajyantau takitau. Of course, halantyam, the taka is an it, goes to the beginning, ajyantau takitau, becomes bhavani. The rest of the angakaram is the same, because the ani is sanya sarvadhatukam, then we get the pratyaya shab, sarvadhakartari shab, shabdas gunaha, sarvadhakartaki yoho, takes the echoyavayavaha, becomes bhavani, akasami dirgha. Between bhava and ani only, akasami dirgha, bhava plus ani, bhavani. Now, we come, two rules we're going to see now, which are nothing really special. You can almost ignore for today, but we put them here. Is what happens is that when there is a nimittam in the upasargaha, this nakara in this ani takes natvam. So one more time. If you have an upasarga, which is nimittam is what a refa or a murdhanya shakaraha or a ru. So we're talking about the attupanyam bhavayepi, natvam which you already seen, like Rama, Anam, etc. But it requires samanapade. Normally to make na into na, the nimittam and the kaji, that I'm taking should be taking the samanapade. When we upasarga, when we bring upasarga, it's not samanapade. You know one thing, tingantas don't compound. Tingantas don't compound. In upasarga is prutak padam. So prutak is a separate padam, completely separate padam. So this is not samanapade. So normally let's say prabhavani. Now normally speaking it's not samanapade. It's not samanapade at all. Anyway speaking. So we should not, the nakara of ani should not take the nakara adeshaha. But the special sutram says that first of all te parag dhatoho. Te parag dhatoho says that we saw the gana pradayaha we saw chadayo sattve, we have been seeing to make the avyaya sanya chadayo sattve. So pragdishwaran nipataha, chadayo sattve, we get the pradayaha, we saw in previous classes pradayaha, upasarga kriya yoge we saw. Then we saw gatishcha. Gatishcha we not seen here, we see it later on. So then there is various this rule which says which terms get the gati sanya, which is not today's topic. We can skip them for now. But the pradayaha, which get the upasarga sanya kriya yoge, then comes the sutra which says te parag dhatoho. They'll come before a dhatu, not as a compound, but they'll be used before a dhatu. Of course, in the Vedic literature, they can be used even afterwards. They can even be used with some intervention. But for us right now, te parag dhatoho. Te parag dhatoho says that if we have a gati or upasarga sanyakaha, right now we haven't studied gati leaves for time being. Just look at upasarga sanyaka. If something has a sanya of gati or upasarga sanya if it has, and right now for us only upasarga sanya, we study gati sanya later on, then they go before a dhatu. We say, if we say upasarga pra when we give them pra bhavani. So it's the same form bhavani. Upasarga pra becomes pra bhavani because pradayaha upasarga kriya yoge te parag dhatoho. So pra got upasarga sanya went before the dhatu. Now ani lot. Notice the number 8416. What is 84? 84 is the section about natvam. Natvam from 841 rashabhyam nonas samana pade up to 8439. Mark this out please. From 841 to 8439 is the natva prakaranam. Within that, the last about 6 rules is nishedha. Nattam doesn't take place. So basically from 841 to 8433, nattu vidhanam, nakarasisthani nakaradeshaha. And there's sutram which says that this 8416 will say Ani Lord, Ani Lord, Ani Lord, this one, Ani Lord. So in Nattam Prakaranam, a special rule. Again, this is nothing to do with the Lakar Prakriti right now. All we are saying is that the Nakara of Ani. So what it says, Upasarga Sthan Nimittat Parasya. If you have a Nimittam in Upasargaha, Lord Adeshasya Ani Ityasya Nasya Nasya. One more time. If you have a Upasarga, which is Nimittam, means the Shakara or the Repha or the Ruvarnaha. And if you have a Lord Adesha Ani, Ani means Mer Nihi Aruttamasya Picha, Ani you get, which you just did. Then the Nakara can take Nakara. Remember one more thing though, you still have to honor, still have to keep in mind the Sutram 842, At Kupvanim Bhavayapi. So that doesn't get overruled. So this has still to be looked at. As long as this is all satisfied, but the problem is that it will not be Samana Pade, but if you have Upasarga with the Nimittam, and you have the Ani of Lord, as long as 842 is satisfied, At Kupvanim Bhavayapi, then that Upasarga Stham Nimittam can do Nattam of the Ani, even though they are not Samana Pade. Upasarga is Pruthak Padam. Then this Bhavan is Pruthak Padam. They are not Samana Pade. But Pani specifically says that he says Ani Lord. If you have Upasargas, Upasargat. So if you have word like Prabhavani, it will become Prabhavani. So one more time. Pro is a Pruthak Padam. This is not Samana Pade. But Pani specifically says that the Ani of Lord can take Natvam, provided the Nimittam is in the Upasargaha. And of course, you have to check 842. At Kupu Anum Vyavayapi. Something this has to be still honored. You cannot if this is broken, you cannot do the Nattam. But bottom line is that the Upasargastham Nimittam has the power, has the ability to make the Nattam of the Ani of Lord as long as 842 can be respected. So it becomes Prabhavani. So these two rules, nothing to do with Lord as such. Te Parag Dhatoho, Upasarga and Gati Sanyas, they go before a Dhatu. Again, Gati, when not studied yet, we'll look at it later. Upasargas for time being, before a Dhatu, and Ani, Lord says that Upasarga Sthan Nimittat Padasya, Lord Adeshasya, Ani Ityasya, Nasya Nasya. So same thing in the Kaumudi. The Kaumudi will say over here, it will be Nityam Nitaha, Tasasim Tam Tam Tamaha. Maybe taking a different place, possibly. But this sutram is nothing to do with the Bhavani, only Prabhavani, only stick Mirni Prabhavani, Aruthamasya Picha Bhavani. Okay. Now the last rule for this Lot Lakaraha is this one which when we take is the Dvivachanam. Dvivachanam, we go through all the steps. We go to La, become Was, Aruthamasya Picha becomes Adagamaha. Because remember, Aruthamasya Picha, not only Mip becoming Ni Ani, but the Was must, not only that, even in Atmanepadam when we do it, as long as Lord Uttapurusha Pratyaha always takes the Adagamaha, So Was will become Avas, of course, Ajantau Takitau, Avas. Then Shap comes Karturi, Shap does the Gunadesha, Bho Shap, and then becomes Anubandha Lopaha, Echoyava Yavaha, become Akasami Dirgha Bhava Was, and now comes the final rule for the Lot Lakaraha, which is this one, 3499. Nityam Nitaha, Loto Langvat, Nityam. Last rule for today, for this Lakaraha, which is, I know a lot of rules for today, but you'll get practice with these, is that Nityam Nitaha, Loto Langvat, Nityam Nitaha, Loto Langvat, which is that Loto Lang we saw. What operation Lang takes, Lot also we take. And there are three of them, which is Nityam Nitaha, Nitascha Tastasripam Tam Tam Tamaha. This one already we used. We only use three of these, Tas, Thas, and Tha, because Me becomes Ni. We didn't use the fourth one. This one we will not use. Because Pani specifically says Eruhu. So this one we will not use. We will not use this one. It's not compatible with Eruhu. But we were using this one, Nityam Nitaha. Nityam Nita. What does that say? Anuvritti of Lopaha comes and Saha Uttamasya. Uttam Purushasya Sakarasya Lopaha. So let me look at the vritti over here. Nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha. Saying is that sakarantasya niduttamasya nityam lopa bhavati. If you have uttam purusha pratyaya, which is sakarantam, it takes nityam lopaha as long as the lakara has gnaz in it. Right now we have lot. We do not have gnaz in it, but loto langvat, loto langvat, loto langvat allows us to use nityam nitaha for lot also. We got the atidesha, we got the extension, loto langvat. Lot will take the operations of lung. Lung is a nit, and therefore nityam nitaha says if you are sakaraha of a uttapurusha pratyaha, uttapurushasya, nityam lopa hoti. So when we got up to this form, bhava vas, we got the adagamaha, got bhava vas by akasama dirgha, becomes bhavava, 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 3, 4, 99. Loto langvat nityam nitaha. Nityam nitaha one more time says that. Siddhanta Kaumudi, again thanks to Yulia for typing. The loto langvat nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha, nityam nitaha. That will say is that if you have the lakara, which has the gnaz and it takes the uttamasya nityam lopaha. So the sakara of a lakara which has gnaz and it, if it's uttapurusha pratyaha, takes lopaha. Normally it requires a nit pratyaha, but loto langvat, we can use it here also. So same thing, we get bhavava, bhavama, bhavava, bhavama. There's a nice table here, I think. Look at this nice table here. Thanks to Radha for this. Bhavatu, this bhavatat is only ashishi. Ashishi is bhavatat also. Ashishi bhavatat. So this is eruhu coming here. Eruhu. Then tuyyo statang ashishi nutrasyam bhavatat. Then loto langvat tastastamipam tam tam tamaha. This is eruhu, eruhu, eruhu. This is serya picture and ato he he. Serya picture, ato, you should practice this. Serya picture, ato he he. So si became he and ato he he took lopaha. Then again this is tuyyo statang ashishi nutrasyam bhavata. These two are only ashishi, only ashishi. Of course ashishi, these can also be used. But if it's not ashishi, you cannot use these two. These are only ashishi, specific ashishi. Then bhavatam, same thing, loto langvat tastasvimipam tam tam tamaha. Same thing here, loto langvat tastasvimipam tam tam tamaha. This was mernihi, aruttamasya picture, mernihi, aruttamasya picture. Now next time when you have this dhatu manjari, don't just memorize it like that. You should say what sutram is making it like that. So when let's say we're doing right now, bhavatu is eruhu, bhavatu means eruhu. This one means loto langvat tastasvimipam tam tam tamaha. Eruhu, 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 bhava means serya picture, ato he he, serya picture, ato he he, bhavatam, bhavata, same thing, loto langvata, tasasvimipam tam tam tamaha, here mer nihi, aruttamasya picture, mer nihi, aruttamasya picture, nityam nitaha, loto langvat, nityam nitaha, aruttamasya picture. So you practice like that, practice these rules. A lot of examples. I think we are running out of time today. What I will do next class, we will do the lung lakara. I'll just give you a very brief synopsis in 2 minutes and we'll stop now. We'll be out of time. So lung lakara, we'll have to use lung lakara in the sutra we'll use here is that anadhyatane lung. In Ashtadhyayi, Panini starts the bhute adhikara from 3 to 84. In that his sutram anadhyatane lung. So if it's a anadhyatane lung is this one over here. Sorry, 32111. If it's a past tense not of today, then lung lakara is to be used. Anadhyatane lung. Just like we're vartamane lat, anadhyatane lung. Now this is a tense. The lot was a mood. This is a tense of time. In time, anadhyatane lung. In the lung, we'll have 2 or 3 important rules which we'll do next time. If you want to practice though, you can get a head start for next time, which is that the rules we have for next time will be like this. We will see this rule. The adagamaha by 6471. 6471 says that if you have the lakara lung or rung, then the ad agamaha comes. Abhavat, apashyad deva devasya comes in Gita, etc. Ad agamaha by 6471. This is for next time. For next in the lung lakaraha, as in the lung and rung, that the ad agamaha. That's one rule. So anadyatane, lung is the meaning which lung is used in the past tense, not of today. We'll do it in detail next time, so don't worry. And this one says the ad agamaha comes in by 6471, and itascha, the last sutam. You see, this is the thing of Panini now. We only have two rules. Only two rules. The ad agamaha, lung lung shuradattaha, lung 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 shuradattaha, lung 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 shu arudattaha, and then itascha, the ending ikara takes lopaha. Only two rules. Only two rules for lung, which is lung 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 shuradattaha. Means this adagama comes and itascha, the ending ikara takes lopaha. So as homework, please derive the entire lung prakriya. Angam will be bhava as before. Will be bhava. Go through all the same steps. Everywhere you get adagamas, become bhava. And the ending will be the same rule which we just saw, which will be, you'll need to use this one. We'll need to use the nityam nitaha, which we just saw. We'll also need to use the itascha, tasasvipam tam tam tamaha. So only these three rules, only itascha is new. The ending ikara will take lopaha. So as homework for you, please have to derive all the forms for the lung lakaraha using this rule itascha only and the ad agamaha by 6471. Let us stop here for today. Next time we'll do the lung lakara and the vidhiling. So next time we'll do lung and vidhiling. Lung and vidhiling for next time. Today we did lot, and as homework, please try to derive the lung lakara form. Should be very easy for you. All the same steps. Only thing is the ad agamaha by 6471, and also the itascha sutram, which we did not use. So ad agamaha by 6471, and the itascha sutram, which we did not use today. The ending ikara will take lopaha. So let's stop with that. Again, today is May 14th, second Saturday of May. This is the Vyakarana Vibhagaha, Lord Prakriya, Samapta, and then we started the Lung Prakriyayaha, Upodghataha, introduction. Okay. Ramo Rajamanis Tada Vijayate, Ramam Ramesham Vaje, Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu, Ramaya Tasmai Namaha, Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram, Ramasada Sosmyaham, Rame Chittale Sada Bhutame Bhorama Mamuddhara, Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tatthilyam Rama Nama Varanane, Shri Rama Nama Varanana Unnam.